What's up, everybody? Ev here. Welcome you to Between Sets, where you and I talk about all things fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, and performance related in between the sets of my workout. If you're watching this, thank you so much for joining me today. If you're listening, thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we're going to look at and talk about what's actually going on in your body when you do some type of resistance training. What is it that actually makes your body grow and build muscle and get stronger? So we're going to keep it super simple, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. If you take nothing away from this, or if you take one thing away from this, I want you to remember one thing, and that's your body just wants to keep you alive. That's it. It doesn't care about six-pack abs, doesn't care about squat or deadlift PRs, doesn't care about anything. All it wants to do is keep you alive. So with that in mind, let's talk about the stimulus, recovery, adaptation cycle and how that plays into all this. Stimulus is the weight training part of it, right? You lift weights, or you sprint, or you move things from one place to the other. You're giving your body some sort of stimulus, okay? Now, in that stimulus, if done correctly, right, if you are honoring the principles of progressive overload, meaning you progressively overload or progressively give your body more work to do over time, there's going to be some inherent damage associated to that. Now, it's not the end of the world, and it's actually a really natural response, but if we look at it from a muscular standpoint, if your muscles move something that they haven't been able to do before, there's going to be all sorts of these micro tears, right? The stimulus was just a little bit too much for what your muscles are able to handle that time around, okay? So in the stimulus that happens, well, if there's damage, your body, again, it wants to keep you alive, so it's going to repair that. So that's where it goes in, that's where protein synthesis and all these things sort of happen, all these chemical reactions, they start to happen, and your body repairs itself. It heals itself from that stimulus provided, right? So we go from stimulus to recovery. Now this is where things start to get fun and things start to get cool. After stimulus and recovery, we have adaptation. See, if your body wants to keep you alive and you give it a stimulus that it hasn't handled before, it takes this and starts to think, well, if you gave me that, I want to be prepared for that, and then whatever else you throw at me as well too. So you don't only adapt to the stimulus you were given, your body overcompensates for that stimulus to be better prepared to handle what you throw at it the next time around. So for example, let's say you were lifting 5 pounds, your body's going to prepare you for 6 pounds, right? It's going to overcompensate. It's going to do this thing called super compensation. Now, that 5 and 6 pound example is just an example, and don't take that as the gospel. It doesn't work exactly like that. Just know that your body does everything it has to be able to withstand the stress, that stimulus that you gave it, and then some. Because it thinks, if you're going to give me this now, what else are you going to throw at me in the future? And that's where change happens in your body. That's where things start to happen. That's why progressive overload is so important. Okay? Your body's not going to change unless you give it a stimulus, unless you give it a reason to change. Now, if that stimulus is something that it's already seen and it's already adapted to, well, it's not going to keep changing. That's why progressive overload becomes so important, is that you need to continuously increase the stimulus that you're giving your body. You don't want to do too much too soon, because then recovery takes too long and adaptation doesn't happen, and you start working out before you fully recovered and adapted, and there's all sorts of issues that come with that. So the key is really increasing that stimulus over time, progressively, but smart and safely as well too, right? Again, you don't want to do too much too soon. And when you do that, you're going to continue to give your body the inputs it needs to give you the outputs that you want, right? More muscle, better definition, lean, toned, fit-looking body. That's exactly what you want. And that's how it happens, right? It's that stress or stimulus, recovery, adaptation cycle. It's what happens in the adaptation cycle. You can't have the adaptations without the appropriate stimulus and the appropriate recovery. Now, if you're wondering what it actually looks like to have a training program that actually honors this stimulus, recovery, adaptation cycle, send me a message. Send me what you're working with. I'd be happy to take a look at your training plan and some ways that you might be able to tweak it, or maybe there's a chance for you and I to work together where I can do your workouts for you. I can help you with recovery, nutrition, whatever it is that you need to be successful. I'm your guy. I'm here to help. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It's time for me to get back to my workout. We'll see you guys soon.